How many of you are enjoying the holiday weekend so far?
Yeah.
How many of you wish we had a holiday weekend every weekend? I'm considering going to Congress and taking a bill that would say we only have 4-day work weeks. Anybody would favor that and vote for that? Then after we get that, I think a couple of weeks later, I go back with a 3-day work week and a 2-day, and maybe we can just get this thing down to where it needs to be. Maybe work 1 day a week. Sure enjoying my time and looking forward to tomorrow, another day to be able to work in my yard. That's what I did yesterday. I spent a lot of time out there, but I sure enjoy it. We've been talking about the character of characters in the Old Testament. Today we're going to talk about the character of Abraham, and we're going to talk about the faith of Abraham. When we were in our new members crossover class, Tamara told me that she has collected some things from signs or things that she's seen in different places, and I've told her to put a list together, but she called out one of them in our new members class, and it just stuck with me, and it's the one about faith, and make sure I'm doing it correctly. Forever, always, I trust Him. So as you think and you consider about faith, think of it from that standpoint. Forever, always, I trust Him. When we look at the life of Abraham in a few moments, we're going to find out that that maybe wasn't always the case, even though when we look and we consider Abraham and we consider the status that we know of him to have in the Old Testament and how close he was to God in so many ways, but there he was human like everyone else, and there were some times that maybe his faith was a little shaky. And so we're going to talk about Abraham in a few moments, but I want you to be thinking about forever, always, I trust Him. And we're going to see that most of the time Abraham lived his life this way, but there were a few times he didn't. While in New York City, Candace and Cindy and I decided to take Fairley on a walk through Central Park. Central Park is one of those things I've seen so many times in movies and on TV, and had it kind of pictured it in my mind and just couldn't wait to get to New York City and go through Central Park. We've been in it a couple of times, but on this particular day, Candace decided, hey, the weather's good out there, and why don't we take some time and we go to Central Park. So we're out there walking like on a Tuesday afternoon. It's probably about 3 o'clock. Park's pretty full of people. There's some break dancers over here fixing to put on performance, and boy, that just caught my attention. So I went over to the break dancers and I videotaped them and took it back to show my kids, and I was just in hog heaven having a great time. Cindy and Candace decided to take Fairley in the stroller, and they went down a whole other way on the other side of the park and came up over by the boat ramp and some of that area, and I told them I'd meet them over there, so I walked over, and sure enough, we found each other at the boat ramp. And we decided, we're way on this side of the park, that we come kind of back this direction because the apartment is over on this side. So we started coming back here, and there's a pretty good sized lake there kind of in the middle of the area we were in, and we got to the lake area, and as you get into the lake area, you look around and there's a huge fountain, and it's just steps everywhere leading out. And so we're now in the lake area, and we're on our way home, and we're getting ready to go, and we look and there's just these steps everywhere. And I just want you to know, I'm not opposed to stairs. I like stairs. I love steps. I like taking them. When I go visit a hospital, I'd always take the stairs up. In fact, I would go to the 6th floor sometime, take the stairs up. I got up to the 6th floor one time, and I walked into a room before I caught my breath, and I went, I'm so glad to see you today. And I said, you need the bed? Instead of me, because I'm still out of breath from going up the stairs. I love stairs. But we had the stroller, and there was a little bit of concern about the strollers and carrying the baby up through there. So Candace and I see a bridge over there, a beautiful little bridge, and we can see kind of the area over there where we want to get to. And we said, well, maybe if we take this bridge, it'll just kind of meander around here a little bit, and we'll end up over here at the street. Cindy said, why don't we go back the way we came? And it's pretty far to go back this way and come back around, but there's probably any stairs because we didn't have any stairs when we came, and we'll probably be able to get back. Candace and I saw the pretty little bridge, and we decided, hey, we think the bridge would work. So we can see where we want to go. You ever seen a place that you want to get to and you can't get to? Well, this happened. We were looking over there, and there's the street, and we cross this bridge, and we end up in this part of Central Park called the Rambles. Now, Central Park is huge, and this one little area is called the Rambles. The Rambles is exactly what it says. It rambles around. It becomes hilly. It comes curvy. So here we are lost in the Rambles. We can still almost see there's the street, But every time we kind of go this way, next thing we knew, we'd go down a curve, and I've got the stroller, and I'm going down these hills thinking, Lord, please help me protect this baby. And then we go up, and I think, please don't let the baby come back down this way. And we go up, and Candace's over there going, I don't really feel real well. She knows she hadn't been too long since she had a baby. And of course, Cindy's panicking like, oh, we got to get out of here. We got to do, please don't let the baby go down, and please don't let Candace pass out. And I'm here in the middle of the rambles going, Lord, help us get out of the rambles. I have faith and trust that you can do this. And I mean, next thing we'd have a hill and back up, and it would twist, and it would turn around. Eventually, we finally worked our way out where we could see an area to go through and to get out of the rambles. And of course, then we had to make our way back to the apartment. During all of that, I really, truly had to have faith in God. And of course, we get to the end, and we get through it, and we get all of it. And then I heard those cherished words that we always love to hear from our spouse. I told you so. I told you if we went back that way, it'd be a little longer, but it wouldn't even be any stairs, and we'd already be back home. And I'm just telling you, the Rambles experience was not good with a daughter about to pass out and a granddaughter in a stroller and trying to maneuver through those little hills and twist and turn. But yeah, we get to the end, and I hear those wonderful, sweet words from my wife. I told you so. And really, for once, she was right. Is the camera still on? And for once, she was right. Now, who's going to go tell her that?
It's recording.
Okay, it's on there. Just go around. I know what you're going to do. You're going to find a second. Watch the recording. You need to hear that. My faith was put to the test. God, please get us out of the rambles, and He did. Today we're going to talk about Abraham and his faith, and we're going to consider his biography. Let's talk about Abraham for a minute. Today we're going to consider the faith of Abram, also known later as Abraham. So let's get some biography on Abraham. Abraham was a descendant of Shem and a son of Terah, who was born in Ur of the Chaldees about 2030 BC. He was known as Abram, father of high and windy places, and he was renamed Abraham. If you follow the story, you know that. And he was the father of many nations prior to the birth of Isaac. Known as a friend of God, I mean, when you read the scriptures, that's what he's known as. Abraham left Ur at the command of God. He was told to leave his kindred, but he took with him his father Terah and his nephew Lot. He settled for a while in Haran, known as the dried up place, until his father died. Entering the promised land, he graciously allowed his nephew Lot to have the choicest grazing land for his cattle, and was instrumental in releasing Lot from the spoils of the kings who attacked Sodom. Abraham's faith was tested by worry, and this is one of the places here, when he took his future in his own hands with the birth of Ishmael through Hagar, the maidservant. Most of you are familiar with the story that happened, but that's one of those places there when he was tested by worry because of that situation. After both Abraham and Sarah were past the age of childbearing, Abraham was told to have a son, Isaac. Now, we're just going to touch on a little bit of Abraham today, but that is a tremendous story. And I really, really encourage you at some point in time to go to Genesis and just follow the story of Abraham. It's a great, great story. And I encourage you to do that. But today we only have time to look at a couple of situations in his life in regards to his faith. So we're going to talk about Abraham from a following faith, a shaky faith, and an unconditional faith. And if you'll turn to Genesis, and the first place we're going to turn to is Genesis 12. We'll be moving around a little bit. Well, let's talk about for a second a following faith. Genesis 12, 1 through 4. The Lord has said to Abram, leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. So Abram left as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. If you know anything about Genesis, if you know anything about Abraham in this story, the covenant that God made with Abraham is commonly referred to as the Abrahamic covenant. It begins to unfold here in Genesis 12. If you start looking at it, if you study it, that's what you'll look at. In this passage, we will see and where we see Abraham is called to leave his people and to take his wife and to move to Canaan. And this initial call constitutes the first of several communications between God and Abraham regarding the provisions of God's covenant with him. So when you study Abraham. When you study Genesis, you're going to be looking at this covenant. It's very important. It's very significant. Covenant is a wonderful study in itself. And like I said a few minutes ago, I really encourage you just to go back and to look at it. But when you look at this passage of Scripture we just read, I want to point out something to you from this passage. And that is the I is used a lot. Did you notice when I read it a few minutes ago? You go back and you look, there's an I in there a lot. But when you look at it and you pay close attention to it, the I doesn't refer to Abraham, it refers to God. How many times do we say, how many times do you say, how many times do I say, I will do this? I will control this situation. I will make this decision. I will set those people straight. I will determine my future. How many times do we say that or indicate that in our life? This scripture passage makes me want to say, as I read through it, God, will you take control of my life? When I get my life into a mess and things are just hectic and I keep saying, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to run over here, I'm going to take care of this. This is the scripture I look at and say, God, you know what? I want you to take control of my life like you said you were going to take control or had control over Abraham's life. 6 times God said to Abraham, or Abram at this point, I will. God said, go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great. I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you. See, the word you, if you go back and look at the scripture, it's only used 2 times in reference to Abraham. It is about Abraham being a blessing to someone or being blessed through him. There's no reference here of Abraham having control and doing things other than being a blessing to the people. See, God here is establishing His control of Abram's life, and God will use Abram as a blessing to people. So He says, Abram, if you will allow me to control your life, I will do this, I will do this, I will take care of this. And now what you're going to do is you're going to be a blessing to the people. You ever thought about your life from that standpoint? That that's the vessel that you are for God? You are the vessel to be a blessing to other people and to be them to be blessed through you. You ever thought about that? That's how God established you in His Christian walk and the Christian thing. That when you walk out this door and you see people and you come across, your idea should be, am I going to be a blessing to them today? But what we tend to do is walk out the door and we do, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to take care of this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. And in this situation, God said to Abram, I will do this. When it came down to action, something being done, God said, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to be a blessing. Abram had a promise from God. And we see his faith and his willingness to obey God strictly in the confidence that what God had promised He would perform. Now, that's pretty stout. If you didn't catch it, let's talk about it. Just look at it for a second. Abram had a promise from God. You ever think that you've had a promise from God? God ever said, or you thought in the process of talking to God? But of course we have lots of promises here, don't we? Abram had a promise from God. We see his faith and his willingness to obey God strictly in the confidence that what God had promised He would perform. You probably know people like I do that if they say, hey, I'm going to do that, I'm going to get that done, you walk away saying, no problem, it's going to happen. They say it, that's their word, they're always Johnny on the spot, doesn't matter. You may have some people that say, I'm going to get that done or take care and we'll do all this, and you walk away going, I don't know. I'm not really sure. See, that's all that Abram had to go on here. God said, I will do it. Abram's going, okay, God, you said you will do it. You made a promise. I'm just going to go off of that. In the Young Adult Bible Study this past Sunday, Andy Stanley was teaching a study on the Lord's Prayer. And he pointed out how strong the wording at the beginning is about God and not us. You ever think about the Lord's Prayer and you look at it and you see what the wording, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Thy will be done on earth. Now, Andy Stanley kind of did this a little bit in his study, but this is kind of the way I look at it. God, you mean in my world here on earth, your will be done? Come on, really, God. Is that what you're talking about?
I know you're talking about in heaven. Hey, God, you're up there in heaven, and I know you rule that. That's okay. But you're really talking about here on earth? You're really God? Really, God? So I'm kind of put it this way. You say, okay, God, that will thing, I'm okay with that. God says, no, you're not. And you reply, yes, I am. I want to be cool with it. God says, but you're not. You reply, yes, I am. I want to be. God says, no, but you're not. And you say, I'm trying to be cool with it. I want to make it work. God says, your actions don't show you have the faith to really want my will. Your actions show you want your will. You say, God, you really want the will in my life now? What if your will isn't my will? And God says, then you have to trust. And you say, trust you on the word alone? God said, yes. Abraham did it. Abraham had faith in me, and he followed my will. See, God said to Abram, move. And God said, I will take care of the rest. What was Abram's part? Trusting God. Abram had faith that in moving from his homeland, God would take care of him and his family. How many of you have heard the little joke or story about the paratrooper where he goes up there, maybe it's his first time to jump, and his superior says to him, says, now son, he says, now when you jump, he said, when you get out, don't forget, pull the first cord. Now son, if by some chance something happens and you pull that first cord and nothing happens, pull your secondary cord. Now son, when you get down to the bottom, there'll be some trucks down there and they'll take you back to the base. So the man jumps out of the plane, he pulls the first cord, nothing happened. The superior said, pull the second cord. Pulls the second cord, nothing happens. And on his way down, you can hear him say, and I bet those trucks aren't going to be down there either. Well, it didn't matter if the trucks were going to be down there either, did it? But I mean, here the superior said this, two things. First two things didn't come true, so guess the third thing's not going to be true either. Many of us approach our faith that way. God, you will take care of everything in my life so I can be a blessing to others. Yeah, right. Yeah, God, are you really going to take care of everything? There was no argument from Abram. God, you want me to move? I will move. God, you will control my life, and I will be a blessing to others. God, if that is what you want, it is what I want. And at this point in time, Abram had to have an enormous faith in God, a strong enough faith to follow exactly what God told him to do. So Abram had a following faith. God said it, he did it. Now look at his shaky faith, though. In Genesis 12, 10 through 15, now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to live there for a while because the famine was severe. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. When Abram came to Egypt, the Egyptians saw that she was a very beautiful woman. And when Pharaoh's officials saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh, and she was taken into his palace. So Abram said to Sarai, this is what she was called at his time, Abram and Sarai, if they think you're my wife, I will be killed. So this is his thinking. You're beautiful. We go in there, and they say, woo, that's his wife. We can get rid of him, so they're going to kill him. But if they think you are my sister, I'm going to be treated pretty well. And they'll just take you on and tell them, and so I'm going to be treated well. So you just tell them that you are my sister so that I can live and prosper. Now, this is just me. I read and I try. I think that Abram is definitely looking out for number one there. Sometimes it's hard to look back at biblical people that we kind of put way up there and say, you mean Abram could really look out for number one? It sounds like that to me. Sarai, if I take you in there, they're going to say you're beautiful. And if you're my wife, they won't be out of the way. They're going to kill me. But if I take you in and I tell them this white lie, that you are my sister, they're going to go, well, hot diggity dog. Abram, you go over here and prosper, and we'll take your sister over here. So, tell them you are my sister, not my wife. When Cindy and I go out, she puts it this way. To keep me from being embarrassed, she says, to keep me from being embarrassed, you look old and ugly, so tell everyone you are my great uncle. This way I won't be embarrassed, and I won't have to suffer ridicule. How do you think I look like a great uncle? Maybe I look like a grandpa. The other day,
in the cafeteria, something came up, I was talking about kids and saying something. One of them looked up and said, "It's like our grandpa." The Abram that had enough faith that God would take care of him when told to move his family had lost that following faith in God. He acquired a shaken faith. At this point, wouldn't it have been best if he would have just said, "God, I trusted you when I moved. I trust you now that you will protect me in a situation as I enter Egypt." Wouldn't that have been faith? Wouldn't that, I mean, this is possibly a bad situation, but God, I'm going to go into it with the same faith I had when you moved me. I'm going to go in. I'm going to be very faithful that you're going to take care of me. And we surely don't know what the outcome would have been if Abram would have shown faith. We don't know what that outcome would have been. Because Abram did show faith. We don't know what it would have been like if he would walk in and said, "This is my wife." We don't know. But we do have the outcome of his lack of faith. And listen to this. The Egyptians took Sarai into their possession. Okay? Abram was treated well by the Egyptians. He prospered. Pretty good. He lived a pretty good life at this point. The Egyptians weren't treated well by God because of Abram's deception. It said, "But the Lord inflicted serious diseases on Pharaoh and his household because of Abram's wife Sarai." Pharaoh summoned Abram and said, "Why weren't you honest with me?" Abram was probably thinking, "Because you would have killed me." I mean, that's the picture I have. Pharaoh was probably thinking, honesty is the best policy. And because of your dishonesty, my family is suffering diseases. Never think your lack of faith in God and dishonesty may not have far-reaching effect on others. You ever thought about that? Never think your dishonesty and your lack of faith in God is never going to affect anybody. Here, it did. Abram was kicked back, enjoying the royal treatment that the Egyptians were giving him, while Pharaoh's family was suffering because of dishonesty, because of his lack of faith. Abram's faith at this point, to me, is on a little bit of a roller coaster. From a following faith to God, you say to move, I'm going to move, to now, God, I don't know if you can protect me or not, so I'm going to go in, I'm going to create this situation to be protected. Let's look at an unconditional faith. Genesis 22, 1 through 2. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to Abraham, and you notice his name has been changed at this point, from Abram to Abraham. God sometime later tested Abraham. He said to Abraham, "Here I am," he replied. And God said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about." Now see, I can't imagine these words coming from God. Me personally. Now you think about it from your standpoint. I can't imagine these words coming from God to me. "Carl, take your granddaughter, your only granddaughter, Fairly, and sacrifice her." Hard sometimes when we put it personally, isn't it? When we read through, "Hey, God said to Abraham, take Isaac and go sacrifice him." Now that's a pretty cool story. Let me flip over to something else over here. Jesus died on the cross. Oh, all right, that's pretty cool, I guess. We'll move on. Personalize it sometimes. Sometimes take a situation like this. Abraham, take your son Isaac and go sacrifice him. Kill him. Carl, take your granddaughter Fairly and sacrifice her. I'm just going to tell you, initially, I wouldn't even think twice. God, no. No. Whatever it is you're up to, or whatever you're trying to accomplish, God, no. I wouldn't do it. Now, that's my initial reaction. I can't tell you if I prayed about it, considered it, or thought about it. If I came back and said, "God, if this is what you want, I'll do it." But Abraham just, you know what he did? The same Abraham who's now Abraham, he had a following faith. Now he has an unconditional faith, and he doesn't question God. He doesn't try to argue and change God's mind. He proceeds to the place where he's going to sacrifice Isaac. Wow. Let me make a point here. You realize the only time Abram's faith was shaken was in regards to his own life? Now, I say that there's a lot of story. In regards to the stories that we're looking at today, Abram from God moved. Hey, no problem. I've got faith in God. Abram sacrificed Isaac. No problem. God will take him out. We'll do it. Now watch Sarai. I might be killed if you don't pose my sister. Let's change the story out here a little bit. So when he came down his life, I can think it was a shame. Move? I can do that. won't kill my son Isaac. I can do that. But when I'm in a position that I'm going to be killed, I'm going to think about that.
I'm not questioning Abraham's faith, but it does make me realize that maybe sometimes my faith is conditional. Maybe mine is. Carl, go down to Port Arthur tonight and witness to the drug dealers. Do I have faith that I won't die? Carl, 10% isn't enough. Tithe 15%. Do I have faith that I will not go back? Carl, move to remote parts of Africa and become a missionary. I'm willing to leave my family to receive God's will somewhere else. Sounds like I probably have some pretty traditional faith in God. God, tell me to go witness somebody to the place I may die. I'm not sure I can do that. God, you tell me to do something with my money that I've already done. God, you mean move totally away from everybody I know?
In this situation with Isaac,
Abraham did put conditions on the situation. He immediately went into action to carry out God's plan. In obedience to God's command, Abraham took his promised heir to Moriah to sacrifice him to the Lord. Now, because Abram was willing to slay his uniquely begotten son, God restrained him from killing Isaac and promised to bless him further in his obedience. You know the story. He gets there. God says, "No, there's a ram over here. Go get the ram and bring it over." And you realize that because of that, because of his obedience and his willingness, that he was blessed even more because of his obedience. And once again, we don't know how God would have reacted. Abraham initially would have said, "Go sacrifice my son." I'm not going to do that, God. We don't know that. We don't know the rest of that story. That if Abraham, and we've been reading the Bible, and said, God said, "Abraham, take Isaac, go sacrifice," and Abraham said no. We don't know that story. And if that happened, of course, I'd have to stand back because, you know, when you tell God no, you better be careful. But we don't know what would happen if Abraham had said no. God called Abraham to make 5 great sacrifices in his life. His native country, his extended family, his nephew Lot, his son Ishmael, and his son Isaac. And each sacrifice involved something naturally dear to Abraham, but each resulted in greater blessings from God. You might want to put that one right here. When God's telling me to do something and it requires my faith, and I may have to even struggle with it a little bit, but when I'm obedient to Him, you mean He blesses me? What He did here with Abraham. Remember when Solomon asked for wisdom from God and God blessed him? Remember we talked about that a couple of weeks ago? Remember when God said to Solomon, "Tell me what you will, what would you have?" And instead of Solomon going, "Well, I'll take this and a big palace and a new car and a new chariot," or whatever. Instead of asking for those things, Solomon even said, "I want wisdom, and I won't know the difference between right and wrong," and God blessed him. And he got the things basically he would have been asking for. God stopped the sacrifice of Isaac and provided a ram, and God blessed Abraham. This incident demonstrates the strong confidence that Abraham had in God at this time. He believed God was even able to raise Isaac from the dead. Now, I've never thought about that angle. I don't know if you did or anybody else did. Never thought that as Abraham went into this, his thought may have been, "Hey, I'm fixing to sacrifice my son, and when I do, God's going to bring him back to life." I never even thought about it from that standpoint. Well, the commentaries did. He believed God was even able. That's faith in itself. If he was going to sacrifice him, he believed God was even able to raise Isaac from the dead. That's faith even in itself. Okay, God, you tell me to take him out here. You tell me to sacrifice him. I'm going to sacrifice him. You're going to bring him back from the dead anyway. Never thought about that standpoint. But here, Abraham's faith was unconditional. Let me close this illustration. I'm trying to think of the time when my faith was really tried. I want you to think about your own time for a second. I sat long as I was putting together, trying to think, when was my faith tried? Of course, if I sat there long enough, I'm sure to think of incident after incident after incident. It probably happens every day, and sometimes I'm not even sure. God, you're trying my faith, and I'm not even sure I'm in here. I'm with you. I'm trying to think of one time that was there. When Cindy and I first got married, we moved to Pasadena, Texas. We were serving in the ministry over there. We were there for 3 years. It was like heaven. I mean, the church was booming. It was growing, and the kids and the youth choir all loved us. The church loved us, and it was a great environment. It was a wonderful experience for 3 years. God moved us to a church in Houston.
And it would
and
be
it would be
opposite.
opposite.
Church was declining. For
For some reason, the people just
didn't
endear us,
seemed
seemed
to want to
endear us,
and
care for us, and seemed like they didn't care for us that much. And so it's almost one of those riches to rags story that, man, we're in Pasadena and everywhere we walk, everybody's like, oh, there's Durden, and hugging on us, we just love y'all so much, and ministry's going so good. And next thing you know, we end up in Houston, it's kind of like, why are y'all here? It's totally different. And I remember getting the newspaper almost every day after we've been there probably about a year. Just bad. And I'd sit in the office every day looking at the newspaper looking for a job. I thought, Lord, I don't know if I can take this anymore. Every day I come in, I don't feel wanted. They don't care for what I do and how I do. And the minister of music that I followed is still here. He's in the choir. You know there's still loyalty and allegiance to him. And I'm trying to do the youth program too, and it's going nowhere. And they don't like any. It's just, every day I just go in, I just open the paper and go, God, please find me there. This is not working. It's not good. But we decided to hang in there. The first 4 years were the hardest struggle I think I've ever had in my ministry. And we stuck in there with faith, and the last 2 years were great. Those 4 years, my faith was tested just about every day of those 4 years. I just can't tell you, I could just go over situation to situation in 4 years of misery. The last 2 years we were there, God began to bless. We fell in love with people and they fell in love with us. What happened? I don't know. Other than we just hung in there, and every day I'd look at the paper and throw it in the garbage, and God wouldn't open up the door. And He said, hang in there and have faith, because it's going to work. It's going to happen one year. Not going to work. 4 years at that point in time, my faith was tested and tested hard. See, I want to have a faith that follows God. I want to have an unconditional faith in God. But I have to say, most of the time, I have a shaky faith in God. Now, that's me. That's me personally. I want to move wherever God wants me to move. I want to be willing to unconditionally do what He says, even if it means sacrificing a family member. But what I want, what I do, I don't always match up. I'm going to start today working on my faith in God. How about you? Abraham is a great study in faith. And as I mentioned, read the whole story, but from these stories we get that Abraham had a following faith. He was human. He had a shaky faith. He had an unconditional faith. Forever, always, I trust Him. A great motto to have as a Christian. Boy, when you get up, things get shaky. Forever, always, I trust Him. When the afternoon comes and the world's falling apart, forever, always, I trust Him. When the next day comes and something happens to a family member, forever, always, I trust Him. When the next day comes and something happens with your job, forever, always, I trust Him. Faith. Abraham. What a great study on faith. Father, we come before You. We thank You for this time and this opportunity of being together. Just a way we can just come and sense You, feel Your presence. And I know You're present here with us today. As we enter into this time, God, we call it the invitation. And it's inviting anyone that's here to come to salvation and to know You as their personal Savior. But also, God, it's a time for Christians to spend some time and evaluate their life. And maybe today, as we talk about faith through Your Word, a lot of us need to sit here and really get honest and truthful with ourselves. And just ask You, well, God, what do You want from me? And are You trying to tell me things and show me things, but I just don't have the faith to do it? God, I pray for those that are here today, that they can check their faith and just think about it, consider it, and then, God, do whatever You have them to do or want them to do, and they can have the faith to go through it. God, I pray for anyone that's here that just wants to spend some time in Your presence with communion. May, God, You just bless them as they just have that time with You in their relationship. And then, God, for anyone that's here that needs encouragement today, I just encourage them and I lift them up to You. God, I thank You for everything that You've done for us. This invitation is Your time. It's the time for the Holy Spirit to work in our hearts and lives. For Your name I pray. Amen. Will you stand together, allow the Holy Spirit to work in your heart during this time of invitation. Whatever God's telling you to do, you move forward and you allow Him to work in your heart and life today.